Hi, Assalamualaikum. Today we're going to learn about bar graph versus histogram. We're going to look on the differences and the similarity between a bar graph and a histogram. Alright, and we're also going to talk about on when are you going to use a bar graph and when you're going to use a histogram. Now, let us talk about a bar graph first. This is how a bar graph look like. Alright, and then it says a bar graph is actually a statistical representation which uses bars to represent the number of units, frequencies of the various items. A bar chart has a uniform column width and each bar should be equally spaced out. Alright, while for a histogram, this is how a histogram look like. Quite similar, right, with the bar graph? A histogram is one way of presenting data. It is similar to a bar chart, but the columns are joined together and both axes contain numerical values. In a histogram, a frequency is represented by the height of each column if the columns are of equal width. Now, if we put it side by side, I know all of you can tell me what are the differences and what are the similarity, right? Well done. So they are similar in terms of the columns are using bars, and the difference are actually bar graph have gaps while histogram no gaps. Another difference of histogram and bar graph is that it mentioned here that in histogram contain numerical values for both axes. Okay, I'm going to show you later. Now, when are we going to use a histogram and when are we going to use a bar graph? Well, for a histogram is actually a great way to show the result of continuous data, such as when we are talking about weight, height, or how much time. For an example, let's say a student in a class. Okay, you have 20 students in your class. They have different height, different weight. Imagine you have 20 different numbers. So it is best to use a histogram because in histogram you can use the x-axis with the number range. Alright? But when the data is in categories such as country, favorite car, favorite sport, you may use a bar chart or a bar graph, as you can see from this diagram. Okay, so I hope you learned something about today's lesson on statistic, which is bar graph versus histogram. Have fun!